and drinking beer. That's what happens. Now, and some people it's just like a little bump. Some people's a medium, and some it's really big. But this person comes in and says, I want to work on my stomach muscles. And I'm like, no, you're not going to work on your stomach muscles, because I can give you 1,000 sit-ups a day, every day for 10 years. You will never get that stomach flat, ever, until you clear this up with nutrition. Once you clear this up, we can get these muscles start firing and get them down here, or hurt. So this is very important. So in the program, we're going to pull you off gluten for 21 days also.
Is that just cheese or all dairy?
All cow dairy.
All cow dairy, okay.
Cow's milk, cow cheese, cow yogurt. You know Greek yogurt everybody's talking about, so healthy for you?
Skim milk too?
Skim milk, well, okay, skim milk. Skim milk is what? You take the fat out of the milk, so the carbohydrate percentage is higher, but casein is a protein. You're not taking a protein out of milk, so there's still casein in it. Okay. So for twofold, casein and the increased percentage of carbohydrate, it's probably even worse than whole milk.
So we don't need cow's milk at all?
For 10 years, right, Carol? 10 years at home, my kids, myself, my wife, no cow's milk. But there are alternative forms of dairy you can have if you like dairy and if you need dairy. Some blood types require it. The A blood types need a little dairy, which I'll go over what you can do to substitute. So we want to clean out of here, and this is really important information about gluten wheat and how casein affects that. Some grains that are better for you that don't contain gluten are grains like quinoa. Anybody ever hear quinoa?
Yeah.
You might have heard of it, but it doesn't sound like it's spelled. But that's quinoa pasta. All right, so those are products a little bit better. Your rice products, whole grain rice is better. Brown rice, black rice, basmati rice, all those things like that.
Buckwheat.
Buckwheat, kasha syrup is buckwheat. Buckwheat's fine also. So buckwheat, kasha, not kashi. Kashi is made from wheat. Kasha is buckwheat. So some grains here, your oats, oatmeal. So whole grain doesn't contain gluten. Some people see gluten-free oatmeal, and they say, I thought there's no gluten in oatmeal. There's not. It's just that some people are so highly allergic to gluten. It's like, the kids with the peanut allergies in school. You can't bring a peanut into school. Some people are that allergic to gluten. So what happens is when they're making, say, oatmeal, in a factory, in the same factory, they might be making some kind of wheat cereal. And some dust might get into the oatmeal, and that will drive that person crazy. So their oatmeal, which is gluten-free, is actually oatmeal produced in a factory which just produce oats products and no wheat products. That's the only difference. So we've got to pull you off that and switch it to these other whole grains that do not contain wheat or gluten. And then this leads us to number 3, which is going to be number 4. And this is another important point. We spoke before about eating every 3 hours, and now I'm going to teach you why it's important. Okay. How many people in here would like to have the metabolism that they used to have when they were 18 years old? Raise your hand. Right. So we all would like to have that metabolism. We could eat whatever we wanted and stay thin. Why do you think we're able to do that? What's the difference?
Faster.
Fast metabolism. What makes a faster metabolism?
Muscle.
Muscle. Very good. So basically, your metabolic rate is based on the amount of muscle you have. And just for an example, I could put a husband on a diet and a wife on a diet at the same time. 4 weeks later, come back, the husband's lost 12 pounds, the wife lost 2, and she wants to punch him in the face. She goes, I'm eating less than him and everything else, he's losing weight. The reason being is that the husband probably has maybe 180 pounds of muscle, we call lean body mass, and the wife might have 80 pounds of lean body mass. So when they eat the same amount of food, he burns it off 2.5 times quicker than this person because he has more muscle. It's like a furnace. If I have a furnace in my house that big, and I have my other furnace this big, and I have a pile of wood that big, what furnace is going to burn the wood faster? The bigger furnace. It's the same thing. So the more muscle you have, the quicker your metabolism. But when I talk to girls, and I hate to sound sexist, but when I talk to women and say, I'm going to put muscle on you, they're like looking at my arms and my legs, and I don't want to look like that. They think I'm crazy. So I'm not trying to make you look like me or any of those other muscle guys that you see, but what I want to do is I want to put muscle on you that you used to have when you were 18. If you weigh, say, 130 pounds, maybe when you were 18, maybe you had 110 pounds of lean body mass and only 20 pounds of fat. But over the years from not training and proper dieting, childbirth, natural aging process, you only have 95 pounds of muscle now, but now maybe you have 35 pounds of fat. Might weigh the same, and I'm being nice because most people put a little more weight on, but here your metabolism is much lower and you have more fat. So, you know, I tell these people that I would like to put, over time, 15 pounds of muscle back on. So you can have metabolism when you're 18. I don't want to put new muscle on you. I don't want to make you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. I just want to put muscle on you used to have, so you have the metabolism you had when you're 18. That's that. And in order to do that, you need to eat every 3 hours. But most importantly, you need to eat protein every 3 hours. There's a mechanism in your body called protein synthesis. And every 2.5 to 3 hours, that mechanism stops. And it searches for 8 essential amino acids. These are amino acids your body cannot produce. You have to get from the outside source. That's why they call them essential. Every 2.5, 3 hours, your body stops and searches for them. And if you have all 8 and in the right amounts, protein synthesis, or the production of tissue, and protein, tissue, and everything else, basically building your metabolism, keeps going. They keep building your metabolism. But I know some people, they sleep 8 hours. They wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee. They rush to work. They grab a quick salad at work, and they get home at 5, and then they eat. And they went almost 18 hours without any protein. So they went 18 hours without building metabolism. Also, when you don't eat enough, your body actually cannibalizes its body's tissues for energy. So when you don't eat enough, your body starts cannibalizing muscle tissue. You start losing muscle tissue, and starts cannibalizing organ tissue. It basically feeds on itself until you give it the amount of food and things it needs. So that's why we need to eat every 3 hours. And more importantly, we want to eat complete proteins. Complete proteins every 3 hours. Complete proteins are proteins that contain all 8 essential amino acids in the right amount. Now, some people need a big steak every 3 hours. Some people need a little piece of fish every 3 hours. But you need something. You need something. Complete proteins, we all joke around here, are things that used to have eyes or his mother used to have eyes. And that's it. Nothing else. So beef, buffalo, chicken, fish, turkey. Used to have eyes, complete protein. Eggs, his mother used to have eyes, complete protein. Cow's milk, mother used to have eyes, complete protein, but we throw it out the window. We don't like that. So you need to eat these things. Something about every 3 hours. Now, I have some blood types. We were talking about before about blood typing. 8 blood types usually don't like high fat. They usually don't like a lot of protein. They don't like beef. And some don't even want to eat any protein at all. So in order to get them going, I have to supplement their diets with protein powders because they just won't eat the other stuff. If they don't eat the other stuff, they never get this metabolism rolling. So in that case, I agree with supplementation. I'm not a big supplementation person, a vitamin person, but that's a special case. So what we do is we'll get them a complete protein powder that has all 8 essential amino acids in it and get that into their system. So this is really important. So when you're planning your meals and you're going through this program, you want to make sure you're eating those complete proteins every 3 hours. Now once you hit your goal and you're good, your metabolism is good, you might not have to have maybe 3 hours. You know, maybe have it every other meal or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat complete proteins every 3 hours. We're going to combine them with carbohydrates so we don't go into that fat burning, that fat storage thing. And we're going to put those together and eat about every 3 hours. We're going to drink plenty of water. Okay? If you want to drink water, you want to drink about half your body weight in ounces a day. So we weigh 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 100 pounds, you need 50 ounces of water a day. So I always hear people say, you know, everybody should drink 8-ounce glasses of water a day. But if you weigh 128 pounds, that's your number. If you weigh more than that, you need more. If you weigh less than that, you need less. People are usually about 70% water. So if I have a 200-pound person, 70% water is a lot more water than a 100-pound person, 70% water. So the bigger you are, the more water you need. The reasons why you need to drink water, first reason is water is involved in almost every energy reaction in your body. So if you're lacking energy, start drinking water, and your body will produce more energy. No calories, but it helps you to turn food into energy, and it keeps your system running perfectly. Second reason is anytime you eat any foods that have